Nobody saw this coming. America's gold medal favorite, the so-called quad god, stepped onto Olympic ice expected to dominate. And within minutes, the entire script flipped. Two shocking falls, a stunned arena, and just like that, the gold slipped away. While U.S. fans watched in disbelief, a skater from Kazakhstan, Mikhail Shaidorov, delivered the performance of his life and pulled off one of the biggest upsets in recent Winter Olympics history. This isn't just a loss. This is a turning point. What really happened out there? Was it pressure, nerves, or a global shift in figure skating power? You're about to see the full breakdown. Before we dive in, if you want real U.S. news analysis without the noise, hit that subscribe button, support the channel, and stay locked in. Now let's get into it. Nobody expected to be talking about this outcome today. Not U.S. analysts, not fans, and honestly, not even the judges inside that arena. Coming into this Olympic final, all eyes were on Ilia Malinin. He wasn't just another competitor, he was the gold medal favorite. The skater everyone believed would redefine Olympic figure skating. They call him the quad god for a reason. He pushes difficulty further than almost anyone we've ever seen. And for months, the assumption was simple. If Malinin skated clean, this competition was over. But the Olympics don't care about assumptions. When Malinin stepped onto the ice, you could feel the pressure. This wasn't just another event. This was legacy. This was expectation. This was an entire country watching. And then it happened. One fall, then another. You could hear the shift in the arena almost instantly. That stunned silence. That moment when everyone realizes something is going very wrong. For the first time, Malinin looked human out there. The jumps that usually look effortless suddenly looked heavy. The confidence we're used to seeing, it just wasn't there. And while America was processing what it was watching, someone else was rising. Mikhail Shaidorov didn't skate like someone hoping for a miracle. He skated like someone who knew this was his moment. Jump after jump, clean, focused, fearless. No hesitation, no panic, just control. This is the part that makes this story hit so hard for U.S. fans. Because this wasn't Shaidorov winning due to luck. This was Shaidorov earning it, in real time, while the favorite unraveled. By the end of the program, it was clear. The gold medal had slipped away from America. And for U.S. viewers, this wasn't just a loss on the scoreboard. It felt like watching a sure thing disappear in front of your eyes. A reminder that at the Olympics, reputation doesn't matter once the music starts. That's why this moment is dominating U.S. coverage this morning. Because it wasn't supposed to happen like this. And yet, it did. This was an Olympic shocker in every sense of the word. Now the conversation across America isn't just about the falls. It's about the weight. Because when you talk about Ilia Malinin, you're not just talking about another Olympic athlete. You're talking about someone who walked into these games carrying the label of next legend. World titles, historic quad jumps, viral highlight reels, the nickname quad god. That's not light pressure. That's a mountain. And in this country, we build our stars fast. Sports talk shows this morning aren't just replaying the mistakes. They're asking the harder question, did the moment get too big? When you're told for 2 years straight that you're the future of the sport, when every promo package, every analyst, every headline says gold is yours to lose, what does that do to your mind when you step onto Olympic ice? You could see something shift out there. The timing felt rushed. The landings weren't settled. After the first fall, there was that split second where you could almost see the doubt creep in. And at this level, doubt is everything. In America, we've had this conversation before about Simone Biles, about quarterbacks in the Super Bowl, about NBA stars in Game 7. Mental resilience isn't a side topic anymore. It's central. The Olympic spotlight doesn't just test your body. It tests your identity. Malinin didn't suddenly forget how to skate. That's what makes this so powerful. This wasn't about talent disappearing. It may have been about expectation colliding with reality in the most public way possible. And that's why this performance is resonating so deeply. Because every athlete says they dream of this stage. But the truth is, the Olympic stage doesn't just reward greatness. It exposes vulnerability. The question now isn't whether Malinin is talented. We know he is. The real question is how he responds to this moment. Because sometimes the true measure of a champion isn't how they perform when everything goes right. It's what they do after the world just watched them fall. While America was still processing what went wrong, something else was happening out there on that ice. And it deserves real respect. Mikhail Shaidorov didn't just inherit a gold medal because someone else stumbled. He went out and took it. 5 quadruple jumps. Let that sink in. Not rushed, not sloppy, not hanging on for dear life. Clean, controlled, confident. From the very first pass, you could see it. He wasn't skating like an underdog hoping to survive the night. He was skating like someone who had already decided this stage belonged to him. Every landing had authority. Every transition had intention. There was no visible panic, no hesitation before takeoff, just commitment. And that's what American analysts are zeroing in on this morning. This wasn't luck. This wasn't a fluke. This was one of the most clutch Olympic free skates we've seen in years. When the pressure in that arena shifted, when the favorite faltered and the door cracked open, that's usually when nerves creep in. That's when athletes tighten up. But Shaidorov did the opposite. He relaxed into it. He accelerated into it. That takes something special, because landing 1 quad under Olympic pressure is hard. Landing 5, with the world watching and gold suddenly within reach, that's nerves of steel. You could feel the momentum building with every clean jump. By the time he hit that final pose, there was this sense that we had just witnessed something definitive. Not controversial, not questionable, definitive. For American fans, it's tough to watch. But from a pure technical standpoint, this was excellence. Precision, timing, execution. On the biggest night of his life, he delivered the performance of his career. And that's why this moment isn't just about an American favorite losing. It's about a new champion proving, beyond debate, that he earned it. And when you step back from the emotion of the night, from the falls, from the shock, from the gold medal ceremony, this is where the conversation really starts to shift. Because this isn't just about one performance anymore. The United States has a long, proud history in figure skating. Generations of champions, Olympic medals, cultural icons. For years, when men's figure skating was discussed on the world stage, America was always in that conversation, if not leading it. So when your biggest star, your most technically advanced athlete, finishes 8th at the Olympics, that hits differently. Now, let's be clear. One night does not erase a program. One bad skate does not erase years of dominance. But this is the Olympic stage. This is where narratives change. And that's the question analysts across the country are asking this morning. Was this just one-off night? Or are we witnessing something bigger? Because while America was focused on Ilia Malinin and his historic quad content, the rest of the world was building quietly, training harder, refining technique, strengthening depth. And when Mikhail Shaidorov stepped up and delivered under pressure, it wasn't just an upset. It felt like a statement. International competition isn't intimidated anymore. They're prepared. They're confident. And now they're winning. For U.S. figure skating, this could be a wake-up call. Not a crisis, but a moment of reflection. Are we evolving fast enough? Are we balancing technical ambition with competitive consistency? Are we building depth beyond one superstar? Because the Olympics don't reward reputation. They reward execution. And right now, this result forces American skating to look in the mirror a little bit. Is this just a chapter in a long story of dominance? Or is this the beginning of a new global era? That's the debate happening in locker rooms, in studios, and across American sports media today. And the answer won't come from words. It'll come from how Team USA responds next. And now the story takes a different turn. Because after the shock, after the analysis, after the replay of those falls over and over again, there was a moment that nobody expected, and it might end up being one of the most talked about images of the night. When the scores were finalized, when it was clear that gold was gone, Ilia Malinin didn't storm off. He didn't disappear into the tunnel. He didn't show frustration on camera. He walked straight over to Mikhail Shaidorov and congratulated him. No hesitation. You could see the emotion on his face. You could tell it hurt. This was the moment he had trained for his entire life. And yet, in that instant, he chose composure, respect, sportsmanship. That clip is everywhere right now across American social media. Fans are reposting it. Commentators are praising it. And the reaction has been surprisingly powerful. Because in a sports culture that often focuses only on winning, that moment reminded people why the Olympics feel different. He didn't win gold. He didn't stand on the top of the podium. But in that brief exchange, he showed something that resonates just as deeply: character. And here's why that matters. America builds its athletes and its superstars early. We hype them. We celebrate them. We expect greatness. But when they stumble, How they handle that spotlight says everything about who they are. Malinin's performance will be debated for weeks. But that handshake, that nod of acknowledgement, that quiet respect for the man who outperformed him, that's being remembered just as strongly. Sometimes championships are measured in medals. Sometimes they're measured in moments. And in defeat, Malinin may have reminded a lot of Americans what true professionalism looks like. And when you zoom out even further, beyond one skater, beyond one country, this is where the story feels bigger than a single night. Because what happened on that ice may not just be an upset. It may be a signal. For years, American audiences have watched figure skating through a certain lens. The US, Japan, maybe a few European powerhouses trading dominance. But what Mikhail Shaidorov did on this stage felt like something broader. This wasn't just a breakthrough performance. It looked like the arrival of a new wave. The sport has been globalizing quietly. Training techniques are spreading. Coaching knowledge is crossing borders. Young skaters around the world are studying the same technical content, pushing the same quad difficulty, building the same athleticism. And now, they're not just showing up to compete. They're showing up to win. For American fans, that realization can be uncomfortable. Because when your gold medal favorite, Ilia Malinin, doesn't just lose, but finishes outside medal contention, it forces a recalibration. The gap isn't what it used to be. And maybe that's not a bad thing. The Olympics are supposed to represent the best in the world, not just the best in one country. What we witnessed might be the beginning of a more unpredictable era, where dominance isn't assumed, where reputations don't guarantee podiums. That kind of shift changes how programs train. It changes funding decisions. It changes how young athletes dream. Because now, the message to the world is clear. The path to gold isn't owned by anyone. It's earned. And if this truly is a turning point, then what happened here won't just be remembered as a shocking result. It will be remembered as the night the balance of power started to feel different. And as this story settles in, one thing is clear. This wasn't just another Olympic result scrolling across the bottom of your screen. This was emotion. This was pressure. This was excellence. This was heartbreak, all unfolding in a matter of minutes. For American fans, it hurt. There's no way around that. Expectations were sky high. The spotlight was bright. And the outcome didn't follow the script we thought we were watching. But that's what makes the Olympics different. They don't care about hype. They don't care about nicknames. They don't care about who is supposed to win. They reward who delivers in the moment. And whether you're looking at the falls, the composure, the technical brilliance, or the sportsmanship afterward, this night gave us a reminder of how thin the line is between dominance and defeat. Now the real story begins. How does Team USA respond? How does Ilia Malinin bounce back? And has the global balance of figure skating truly shifted? We'll be watching all of it. If you want real breakdowns like this, honest analysis, no noise, no overhype, make sure you support the channel. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay locked in with us as this Olympic story continues to unfold. Because this isn't the end of the conversation. It's just the beginning. Studio Microphone, United States.